So in today's video, we talk about everything we need to know about circles. What you're looking at in this image, you should recognize as a circle. And you can see there are various points on this circle. On the outer edge of the circle, there's points A, point P, point Q, point B, and point C. Those are all on the edge of the circle. Now, the edge of the circle is referred to as the circumference, okay? We can measure that circumference, okay? So when we talk about the circumference, we're talking about the distance around the outside of a circle. And we'll define that in a moment, okay? Now there's one last point that we need to make note of, and that point is point O. Now point O happens to be the center of the circle, and that is how we name a circle, okay? So this point right here is the name for our circle. So there's my circle. Oh, getting a little off track. That's all right. You can see the actual circle otherwise. So this is referred to as circle O. So we always name for the midpoint or the center of the circle. All right, so circle O. So that is our center. So really important. Anytime you're asked to name a circle, you name it by the center. So in this case, it's circle O. So let's actually start, since we're talking about the circumference enough already. The circumference is what I've outlined in green. The circumference is the distance around a circle. It's that simple. It's almost like the perimeter, but I'm not going to use that word because perimeter is meant for any type of polygon. Polygons we've talked about have straight edges for sides, but it's still just the distance around, okay? So let's move on from there, because once we've established the circumference, we can start to refer to all the other pieces. So a radius, or plural radii, is going to be any segment that connects from the center of the circle back out to the circumference. So in this case, one of our radii, or singular radius, is going to be segment AO, or in reverse, we can call segment OA. So let's actually identify all the other radii. So there's another radius here, okay? So I want to make sure that we clearly identify, okay? So this is a radius. This on its own is a radius, okay? As well as, so OB, segment OB is a radius, as well as segment OC, okay? So any of those would be radii. I'm just going to outline one so we're not too confused over what we're looking at, okay? So let's define what a radius is. A radius is a segment connecting the center of a circle to a point on the, now here's that word we came up with earlier, circumference. All right, so it connects the center to a point on the edge. The next term that we'll identify is a chord. Now PQ is a chord. You notice it connects 2 points. It's a line segment, and we can label it as such. It's a line segment that doesn't just connect from the center to a point on the circumference. It connects 2 points on the circumference. So in this case, a chord is a segment connecting, this is important, 2 points on the circumference. So here's that word again. that we've already identified, the distance around the circle. So in this case, PQ, segment PQ, is a chord because it connects 2 points on the circumference of the circle. From there, we can move on to a more special chord. And the reason why I want to make sure you understand this, when we talk about a diameter, the diameter is also a chord, but more specifically, it's a chord because it connects 2 points on the edge. It's a chord, but it's special because it goes through the center. So that's what makes this a diameter. So in this case, segment AB, which connects 2 points on the circumference, so it meets the definition of a chord, it is upgraded to being a diameter because it goes through the center. So we're going to call it a segment. Connecting, again, 2 points on the circumference. And this is really key here. And passing through the center of the circle. All right, so this right here, let's do this. This right here, if I can highlight it, is really key, okay? Because that's telling us that where it picks up the center of the circle, it is a special type of chord known as a diameter. So this is all the vocabulary that you need to know, and you'll need to know this and demonstrate your understanding of this vocabulary on the Google form that goes along with these notes. So specifically, you need to be able to recognize how to name each of these parts: a radius, or the plural radii, a chord, a diameter, and the circumference. You also want to make sure that you remember that the way we name a circle is based on its center point. So this circle is known as circle O. Okay, so that is everything that we need to review for circles. Please complete the Google form and we will talk more about circles in class.